Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, this is a part of the microbiome movement, the microbiome project, birthed by the one and only Clive Campbell himself. Okay, and we are a group of Caribbean individuals that are pushing the movement and making it happen. We stand arm in arm, locking arms in arms with whom we call our Charlie of Charlie's Angels, King Clive himself. Okay, so listen, we are about to get started. Let me just make sure all of our speakers are on because we have a special guest speaker tonight. Let me get him on. And so whilst that's happening, I'm going to ask, let's see when Clive gets his mic. Okay, I'm going to ask King Clive to open us up in prayer whilst I go and get our special guest that will be coming on in short order so that he can present to us and share some phenomenal information this evening. So take this moment whilst we are praying to bow your heads and click your fingers. Yes, you heard me, bow your heads and click your fingers. Share this information with at least 5 to 10 people. Let them know that you care about them because guess what? These times are really, really crazy. We need everybody to get this information and be shared with as many people as possible. So as King Clive comes to the forefront to pray for us and open us in prayer,
you can't talk anymore.
this information. Go ahead, King Clive.
Are you hearing me okay?
Yes, I can. Take it away.
Okay, great. Let's pray. So kind and righteous Heavenly Father, we thank you for another evening. We thank you for this occasion that we have come together as we look at aspects in relation to our health. We pray, God, that indeed that you will open the windows of our understanding so that we will become smart and intelligent about this important area of our health. We thank you for Dr. Franco Taylor. We thank you, Lord, for Dr. Ruth Ann. We thank you for Nurse Adelaide. We thank you for Dr. Joy Pereira. We thank you for all persons will share it and shine in somehow tonight to bring some light to the situation that we might more intelligently go forward with our health. Lord, many persons are suffering, many persons are hurt, many persons are mourning. And we ask God that you give us something in this time of need. Help us, Lord, so that we might leave here confident that you have given us something to be appropriate in these situations. Bless, Lord, we ask these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen. So, ladies and gentlemen, as Dr. Ruthan will be back pretty soon, we welcome you to this call. You know, the immune system is a very powerful system. It is designed to protect us, and many persons are not as protected as they need to be. Is your immune system up and running? Is it certified and fortified by Sankey Global, Belage, and other products? We have a system, ladies and gentlemen, that has been tried, tested, and proven. 40 years of research and development before these products came to market, 11 years ago. And the 400 scientists every day keep on studying the ingredients and the technology behind these products so that we might get even better at presenting you something that is most relevant in these most challenging times. So you can be confident that the information shared, that the product system that we are sharing with you this evening is a system that many persons have already benefited from in terms of reversing, recovering, and restoring not only their immune system, but chronic, degenerative, progressive diseases as we understand how the body functions and we begin to take better care of the body. So we thank Sankey Global. We are indebted to Sankey Global for the caliber of information and the quality of awareness that they have brought to the table so we can now know what we are up against. We can understand who we are as individuals so that we'll better be able to go forward, taking care of our body in the most intelligent way possible. So I know I'll be talking more about the microbiome. We'll be talking about mitochondria. You'll be hearing about metabolites. These are terminology that are new to a lot of people. But guess what? The internet, these are terms that are coming. They're not leaving, they're not going anywhere at all. Because as we understand our new biology, we ourselves will be happy to understand these terminologies so that we might fit them into our lives so that we can benefit from them. And like the centenarians of Okinawa, Japan, many of us will get there or near there because some of us have been badly damaged already. We do not know how much closer you'll get to 100. But no one of us, no matter how life is difficult, wants to leave this earth before it's necessary. So we all pray and ask God for longevity. Not only that, we're asking Him for quality of life so that we don't have to wake up with all those pains, with all those suffering, spending our time and money and resources on trying to fix our health. What we want to do is just to live in such a way that many of the diseases that even inflicted our foreparents and our lineage will not have to inflict us. The curse can stop at us. This blight on our generation can stop at us because of the information we now have. Sickness is a choice, I've heard several persons said. So never before are products so powerful, available to so many people, at such a reasonable price. How much would you pay to get your health back again? Because some of us have lost our health and we're trying to get it back. We're trying to steer our way out of disease and to steer our way into health and wellness. But we thank God there is a compass. We have a GPS courtesy of Sankey Global to get back on track. So I don't know if Dr. Denise, are you back as it, please? I don't know if she, okay. So I can keep talking, but I'm hoping that she'll indicate to me when she comes back. So for the irritations, inflammations, and the infections of our lives, we have the Sankey Global Wellness System that is able to speak to the philosophy that we don't talk to symptoms. We don't speak about fixing symptoms. That's a mistake that a lot of people have made. What we do, we see the body as a system, as a garden. We don't see it as a machine that you can remove parts and replace parts, a machine that you use a lot of chemicals in it to make it run, a machine that you manipulate. No, our body is to be seen correctly as a garden, an ecosystem in which you tend to it, lovingly care for it, and begin to nurture it in a way that it gives you the quality of life that you deserve. If people are prepared to talk to plants, and several people, if not every day and every morning, several times per week, even wipe off the plant leaves that are inside of their house, wipe them off and talk to the plants and nurture them, and water them, and show different types of fertilizers or natural fertilizers to make them grow. How much more we, in understanding the human body, need to adopt a similar approach, that our body is not a machine. Ladies and gentlemen, the narrative has been changed. We are not even to be considered a human being. If science is correct, it's not correct for us anymore to refer to ourselves as human beings, because being human doesn't mean that we are all human beings. Being human means that we are an ecosystem, several types of cells working together to create balance in our body. Now, what kind of cells you're talking about, Clive? Of course, human cells. We're talking about bacterial cells, fungal cells. We have
Speaking,
archaea.
Clive, I know
Yes,
you're
please.
about to roar down the road, but we're going to pause it, put a pause button right there because our guest speaker has arrived. And I know he has a quick jump to go to another call. So we want him to get on and speak to it immediately, and then we can continue that conversation. So tonight, guys, my name is Dr. Ruth Ann Newton Lightburn out of Freeport, Bahamas, and we have a special guest tonight. And this guy is the medical director of Sankey Global. He is 40 plus years in natural medicine. He is considered Bro Franco Taylor, not just Dr. Franco Taylor. Behind his name, he has DD, MH, HE, BHHN, and of course, natural medical doctor, so ND. And he considers himself a servant through the Lord Jesus Christ. So he also considers himself a health evangelist, not just a natural medical doctor. So without further ado, the gentleman that we're going to have speak this evening, let me bring him up, that is going to be speaking to the efficacy of Ballage and how does this Ballage truly work? Because I know everybody wants to know. We had a full house last night and everybody's like, what are we all talking about? So without further ado, the person that I love to call my dad because of his wisdom, I sit at his feet. I learn every time he opens his mouth. So I specifically ask you again tonight, get a pen and paper, You're going to need it. So without further ado, Dr. Franco Taylor, did you make it to the call?
I did. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear. Take it away, sir.
Okay. Good evening. It's a plum pleasing pleasure being here. And again, we're just talking about, I'm going to try to coin this into maybe 10, 15 minutes. But bottom line, we're talking about liquid immunity. And, for 41 years, almost 42 years, I've been what's called a health evangelist. And I've spent all of that time trying to help people understand the simple fact that God created us and gave us this immune system with all the white cells, lymphocytes, leukocytes, phagocytes, macrophage, natural killer cells, Treg cells, all of these cells that were designed with their different categories to help the body to destroy, to gather up, to disintegrate, to remove any invader. That means cancer, full-blown AIDS, even COVID, because the body is designed to destroy all invaders. And so we talk about vitamins. 90% of the vitamins out there are synthetic, so they do nothing. So all the rest of the stuff out there, we can just forget about that because it's synthetic. It can't work. But what we got to realize is that with the immune system that God gave us, God doesn't make any mistakes. He don't make no mistakes. So the body has always been able, from the time that the baby comes through the womb and receives all of this microbiome from the mother, the 9 months in the womb receiving all that microbiome from the mother, that child comes forth with the ability to fight off any infection, any invader, any fungus, any microbe that's not right. Cancer, AIDS, it does not matter. Even SIDS cannot attack this baby with this beautiful immune system, especially if that child is receiving the mother's milk, which is the rest of his microbiome or the rest of his immune system. So what do we do then? We're out here, all the so-called vitamins and minerals and so forth, they're synthetic, they don't work. So what choice do we have out here? We found that the COVID basically it can affect anyone if your immune system is even down just a little bit. But usually the effects of it are basically mild. It's not that big of a thing, okay? But the severity of it, what's knocking people down, what's giving them the long haulers, what's killing them is what? The fact that they have this underlying current. They have these NCDs, or non-communicable diseases like diabetes, like high blood pressure, like obesity, like all these kinds of things that we think are passed on from others. No. This is because of a bad lifestyle. This is because of a poor diet and lifestyle. So what do we do to change that? Well, you can become eat plant-based, like all of the major societies, cancer and AIDS and heart and diabetes are telling us that a plant-based diet will do it. Well, it won't. Why? Because man has destroyed the earth, he's destroyed the air, he's destroyed the water with all this industrial crap for the last 100 years. So then if the land won't yield the best vegetables, what are you going to do? Well, you need something called a supplement. You need supplementation. And that supplementation can't be synthetic. It has to be plant-based. So that's why, Sankey, that's why now. Because we're talking about a virus that's attacking the immune system. It's attacking the respiratory system. So what can we do? We can use the Belage. And we're going to talk about that one alone for the next few minutes. Belage helps to completely revive, regenerate, recoup, restore, recover, reverse what's going on in our body. It helps to rebuild the immune system. Why? Because of the powerful ingredients like rosemary, like olive leaf, okay, green tea. And just to give you a little bit of what they're all about, the rosmarinic acid in rosemary has something called camphor. 10 to 20% of it is camphor. What does camphor do? Camphor has been known for centuries, okay, but definitely for decades to basically clear up chest congestion. It works as an anti-inflammatory. It gets rid of inflammation. Inflammation being the main problem in all these diseases, especially COVID. Inflammation sets up in the system, and we've talked about it. It's when the body becomes red and swollen, hot, painful, and especially after an injury, or in this case, the infection of what we call COVID. This thing is killing people by the millions and millions and millions. But again, it is activated when person has an underlying effect like cardiovascular cancer, respiratory diabetes. So what is this liquid immunity? Why Sankey? Why now? Simply because we've got formulas that do what? help with the cardiovascular problem, help with the cancer, help with the immune system down, help with the lungs, help with the diabetes. What are we talking about? We're talking about a sake that literally has all the 596 metabolites that help to do what? Give us the energy, help to remove damaged tissue, dead tissue, and helps to do what? Remove all the waste out of the body. When that happens, a person can begin to recover from COVID because you're getting out the inflammation, you're getting out the waste, the breeding ground for the virus to grow. It has we have things like the quinui, which has the ability to burn out the fats and the sugars to help remove inflammation and to help drive down the cardiovascular problem. The pressure is lowered, the A1C or the diabetes is better. So when these get better, now the person's immune system is in a position to do what? Do the fighting that it needs to do. And of course, one of the main things that it does is it attacks the lungs. SARS, we're talking about acute respiratory syndrome. It attacks the breathing apparatus. You don't get enough oxygen into the lungs, and of course, the person succumbs. They die. Well, we're talking about a formula here in Belage that does what? It cleanses the system. It actually goes into the mitochondria. That gives the person the energy that they don't have when they get the problem of COVID. It also does what? It helps to get the blood circulating at the what? At the microcellular level. What does this do? Oxygen is carried into the body by what? The blood. We always talk about Leviticus 17:11, which tells us from the Bible that the life of the flesh is in the blood. If you've got good circulating blood, no disease can live there. Just like when mosquitoes, they don't lay their eggs in running water, only in stagnant, stinchy, morbid, funky water. Same thing with disease. It cannot live in a running bloodstream. And with the Belage that cleanses out the cells, it also has over 300 metabolites. These metabolites give you the energy that you don't have with COVID. These metabolites help to get rid of the dead tissue. So when the virus is attaching itself, making your body a copy machine, you're making more of the virus. Then what happens? You've got the Belage that goes in and does what? Gets rid of this attacked material, the tissues that are dying, it removes them. So there's no room for what? For the virus to continue to attach itself to weak tissue. I hope you're hearing what I'm saying, because it's not going to attach itself to strong tissue. It's just like wolves in a pack. They will not attack a bull with a ram with big horns. They go after the baby. Are you listening to what I'm saying? They go after the weaker ones. So again, this COVID thing is attacking our bodies because we have a weakened immune system. And if I could say anything else to help this, because we could go on and on and on, but the key is your body is designed, your immune system is designed to attack anything. We're looking at the ingredients like the olive leaf. Olive leaves have been around, far as I know, for over 6,000 years. The trees that we use for our formula are in some cases 2,500 years old. That means that they have evolved. The metabolites in these trees from the ingredients of the olive are 2,500 years old. Are you listening? They've evolved to the point where they're strong enough to kill anything that gets in the way. Okay, and that's what's in our product. That's what's going inside of our system. Even the bacteria on these, the microbiome that's on these trees has evolved for so many years that it's powerful, powerful, powerful. And when it goes into your system in the form of Belage, you've got something in your system that's as old as the virus, which has been evolving all these thousands of years, but it's still stronger. Why? Because God designed it that way. So our formulas have in them ingredients that help the body do what? Heal itself. Help the organs to work better, help the microbiome to be fed so that it can do what it needs to do. Each system in the body can then work together, each one regulating and communicating with the other so that they can pass on and remove this inflammation, remove these viruses. They can remove these bacteria. It can remove these types of nasty material out of the body, and the immune system can do what? Instead of attacking itself because it's all out of kilter, the Belage helps it to communicate through the DNA into the cells so that these cells, even the natural killer cells, come out in just the amounts that are needed to destroy the invader. If it's small invasion, they come out just small enough to do it. If it's large invasion, they come out with lots and lots of battalions to kill the invading material, the invading virus. So what have we got here? We've got a sachet of ingredients like rosemary, like olive leaf, like green tea, that have these high quality, high powered ingredients that assist the body in doing what? Healing itself. It assists the organs in functioning better. It assists the immune system in building to that high quality where the body is at 7.5, it's at AUTOmatic. It can do what it needs to do, including destroy all invaders, including COVID. Folks, that's what we've got. Get with the person that invited you to this call. Find out a little bit more about the microbiome. Find out about the immune system and find out how it is fed, how it is nourished, how it is allowed to reverse, recover, and restore its weakness by the powerful, potent ingredients in our belage. So that gives us our liquid immunity, simply because the belage allows the body to do what it was designed to do by God. And when that happens, no disease, no cancer, no AIDS, no virus can live in this body once the body is healthy, once the immune system is strong. And that is the job of the belage, to help God's body to heal and kill anything that doesn't belong in the body, including COVID. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And you're sticking to it. Wow, Dr. Franco, man, that right there was so powerful. And I pray that everybody that was under the sound of your voice heard what you had to say, because that was some powerful information right there. And I know you hate to speak and run, but I know you have a prior engagement. And guys, listen, this gentleman at the last hour, you know, I asked him, I said, Dr. Franco, we need you to come and just share with us the efficacy of belage firsthand as the medical director of Sankey Global. And, you know, he didn't say no. He's here tonight, even though he has an engagement at 8:30, 7:30 Central. He said, Ruth Ann, what time is yours? I said, sir, it's at 8 o'clock. He said, 7 o'clock. Okay, I'll be there. So guys, we want to say thank you so much, Dr. Franco, for coming. And we appreciate you here at the Microbiome Project. We need to see more of you, but we love you. We know you're super busy doing what you got to do, but thank you so much for coming on. So guys, now it's to the panel. We're going to speak to what he just said. You know, we're going to speak to what he just said. We're going to also have, of course, Nurse Donnelly come and just speak to what we spoke to last night, just in case you forgot, just to remind you of just the main things that need to be at the top of your list. And I know she touched on this last night, but really didn't go into detail. And it's funny, when we had the conversation, the panel, the microbiome panelists, when we spoke about this, you know, if those and whomever has decided to get the vaccine, one of the things that you shouldn't be ingesting is caffeine. And I want Nurse Donnelly to talk about this, because as we spoke about it, we thought about our makeup in the Caribbean. We love Coke sodas. You know, everybody drinks a Coke soda. Everybody wants to drink coffee. You know, the big thing is the coffee. Let me drink this coffee and that coffee. But if we are going to go ahead and do the vaccine, if or not, that's your choice. Choice is yours. And that's not our decision here at the Microbiome Project. But if you do or you don't, caffeine isn't one of the things. So Nurse Donnelly, let's start the conversation with that, and then let's run it from there. And I want you to share some of the information that you imparted last night for us, and then we can go from there and make it happen.
Okay, good evening.
Are we going to see your beautiful face tonight? Or are we going to see a blank screen that says Donnelly Adley on it?
This is,
oh Lord,
not tonight. But oh, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the call. And you know, just take notes for persons who didn't come to the call. And as I said last night, you know, we say something we say in church, everyone bring one. Everyone bring one. So while we're on the call, it's not too late to send those links on, even though we're not going to have you on as we did last night. But I just want to touch on Dr. Franco said. But before we do that, let's think about what Dr. Ruthann just mentioned, coffee. Coffee dehydrates the cell. It dehydrates the cell. And COVID dehydrates the body. So if you are drinking a beverage that has caffeine in it, you're doing more harm than you are good. Because with the Delta strain, we have noticed that, yes, some people may have warning signs or early symptoms. Some people do not. Some people, when they know they have COVID, it already went to their lungs. Okay? And so all that time, that's why I said during this time of COVID, please stay away from caffeinated drinks. Those I see some persons in the waiting room. Can somebody let them in, please? In this time of COVID, when you're drinking things like, you should stay away from caffeinated sodas, and most sodas have caffeine in it, correct? And then you have coffee. You know, in the Caribbean, we like our coffee. In the US, we love our coffee. We just love our coffee. Even, you know, when you smell that, hey, you want a cup, but this is not the time for it. And especially those of you who choose to get vaccinated, please, before your vaccination, the day of your vaccination, and a few days after your vaccination, please stay away from any drink that has caffeine in it, because it can cause the cells in the body to dehydrate. You understand? And COVID does that on its own, because most emergency rooms now, when somebody comes in, because there are more patients than there are staff, and there's no place to put patients at this time, no hospitals around the world. All health systems are challenged. That is why I don't know why we don't have more persons on these calls. I don't know if you're just grabbing this information for yourself and not sharing it with persons, and tell persons, guess what? Your life depends on it. Your life depends on it. The more you're educated about a particular disease or virus, the more you equip yourself. I repeat this. The more you are educated and informed about a particular disease, the more you are equipped to assist with you or a loved one. The life you save may be your very own. I don't know when we're going to get this and pass it on that, hey, here at Sankey Global, we're doing more than just selling a product. We're actually assisting in reversing, recovering, restoring person's health, and our products work 100% of the time for 100% of the people. I don't know when we're going to pass the word out, but we have to pass it out. So let me go back to my topic. Stay away from caffeinated drinks at this time. I know we love our cold sodas, especially the Coke with a little bit of ice. Y'all, please stay away from it at this time. Okay, now I went down a list of supplements. Last night I had a person hit me up after the call saying, Nurse Adley, supplements, could you please repeat them for me? So I'm gonna ask you right now to get a paper and a pen as I explain something else about these supplements, okay? So now, Dr. Franco, supplements, 1 second.
As we wait on Nurse Adley, please make sure you have your pen and your paper ready to take down copious notes, because you're definitely going to want to share this, as she said, with your loved one. You're not going to want to miss it at all, anything at all. Let me see here, just making some more persons co-hosts. But Dr. Denise, I don't know if you want to chime in until Nurse Adley returns. Let me know. Dr. Denise, are you out there?
Hi guys.
There we go.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
she's back. Okay, she's back. There we go. Take it away, Nurse Adderley.
All right, do apologize. Dr. Franco mentioned this, supplements and them being synthetic, all right? When we take supplements, what he meant by that is that when we take supplements from over the counter, most of these supplements, right? That is why with COVID, we're asking you with the supplements to take a higher dose than usual. Because with these supplements, if you take supplements and you go to the restroom, what you would notice is that with your urine will be highly concentrated. All right. Then on top of that, it would change in color. Then you would have your fecal matter, your stools. They become hard. They become a different color and very toxic or high or foul smelling. That's because most of those synthetic supplements came out straight through your system and out. But with Sankey Global, with our products, is made from nanobiotechnology. And I think Dr. Denise will probably go into that later on, or if they want me to go into that later on, we will. But nano means that the particles in our products, in Sankey's products, were made so tiny that, and they were coated, that when ingested by the body, the gastric juices and the enzymes do not break these products down. And that is intentional because they want the products to actually go into the bloodstream. Once those products go into the bloodstream, what happens is the blood takes it to the different tissues and the different cells of the body. Now, every cell in your body has what we call the mitochondria. The mitochondria is the powerhouse. It is the powerhouse of every living cell in your body, and 67 plus. You know, because some people it's more. Percentage of your weight is the mitochondria. Y'all see how serious that is? So when you drink let me go back to the caffeine. The caffeine dehydrates the mitochondria. The mitochondria, when it's diseased or dehydrated or it's dying, it leads way to all of these other different conditions going on in the body. So COVID attacks the mitochondria. And so if you have COVID attacking the mitochondria, then you have all these other different foods that you're not supposed to be eating, especially coffee, which dehydrates the mitochondria or dehydrates the cell, going in the cell at the same time. You're killing yourself quicker. So getting to that, water. Drink lots of water in this time, all right? And I keep on telling people, at this time, alkaline water is very good to drink. Why? Because the molecules in alkaline water is very tiny, just like the nanoparticles in Sankey Global products. So where the molecules are so small, it's able to get into the tissues and the cells more readily to hydrate the body more readily, okay? So then we spoke about Balage. Somebody called me last night and this morning, Sadly, all I can remember is Balage.
Hey, Nurse Adderley, let me see if I can play a short video about Balage. Let me see. You can keep talking, and if it comes up, then it comes up. Let's see if it comes up. So you keep talking.
All right. And Dr. Franco also mentioned inflammation. As I said last night, Renew Fire is extremely good for inflammation. That's why in COVID, we have a trio. The trio is the Balage, the Renew Fire, and the Inner 7 together in 16 ounces of warm or hot water. Okay, it's able to get into the cells readily, but some people say they can't drink it hot. So use your alkaline water. Okay, You could put the products in the alkaline water and drink it. Now, I must say, for those persons who have hypertension in COVID, do not use the inner 7 unless you speak to a distributor or you get a hold of Dr. Franco, who could instruct you on using that inner 7 if you have hypertension. That's just the inner 7. Other than that, that Canoe and that Balage, everybody on this call should have Canoe and Balage in their home, even if it's for preventative measures or if you have COVID, to assist in the recovery. All right? So those should be at the top of, those 3 things should be at the top of your list. First of all, alkaline, Balage, Canoe, fire. Then let's add to that. Dr. Ruthann, you have, I see you have something up. Okay.
Imagine living 200 years in today's world. Seems difficult to grasp, right? Well, living a longer life is now a reality with Balage. With its nanotechnology, Balage is a hydrating drink unlike any other. Balage was inspired by the sea urchin, a creature identified by science as the most ageless animal. The sea urchin lives more than 200 years due to its ability to produce high levels of antioxidants. And with that, we introduce to you Balage, a power drink filled with the necessary antioxidant power your body needs to achieve its natural full potential. Balage is made with Orasad enzyme 3, whose function is to raise the activity of principal antioxidant production, helping to improve liver function, increase brain power, and reduce cell damage. By taking Balage, you will be reactivating natural antioxidants in your body to perform damage control within your cells. With these advances, Balage also improves blood circulation while reducing the caramelization of fats and sugars. With these antioxidants, you will be gaining the most effective protection against premature aging. To use Balage, dissolve the Easy Tear envelope into 16 ounces of water. Once prepared, consume within 24 hours. For the most dynamic results, use Balage up to 3 times per day. It's time to start improving your intelligent force with the intelligent nutrition of Balage. Feel hydrated and energized for a longer, healthier life.
Guys, if you want that video, ask the person who invited you to the call so that you can review that video, but it talked about circulation, talked about getting toxins out of the body. It talked about cellular damage, actually repairing some cellular damage. So this is what we're doing here at Sankey Global. And those things COVID do. COVID breaks down the cells. And as I said, the nanoparticles are able, where they're so tiny, to go into the cells and actually jumpstart that mitochondria and get that mitochondria running, the powerhouse of your cells. Because you see, when someone has COVID, the first thing, they're very weak. And that is because they are not getting that oxygen and that energy to the body. And it's a lack of circulation. There is inflammation going on, and the cells are being invaded. And let's talk about the cells. We did a study here at Sankey with viruses and the efficacy of Balage. There is something in your cells, it's called the 3CL protein. The 3CL protein allows virus to actually replicate in your blood. That is what causes it. But when you drink Balage, inhibits the 3CL meeting with the virus cell and replicating. That is what Balaj does. And so on Monday night, I would advise you to be on this call because we will show the slides and actually go into depth with that so that you can understand and break it down in layman terms what we mean by that and how Balaj actually stops the virus from replicating in your body. Y'all don't know what we got. Y'all don't know what we have here at Sankey Global. Y'all don't even know what some of y'all who are on the call for the first time, y'all, and some of y'all who've been on the call before, y'all didn't even know what y'all walked into. Y'all have not yet realized what y'all have walked into. When you do, some of you will run outside, run down the road, run back. Your neighbor's going to look at you like you crazy. Trust me, when you actually realize what we have here at Sankey Global. So getting back to that list, the alkaline water, Balaj, Canoe, Brian, I see your two hands. Then there's a supplement called NAC, N-acetylcysteine. This helps with the lungs, okay? Then you have your D3, and the NAC is 600 milligrams. And then you would have zinc. The zinc should be 50 milligrams. So come around here with 25 milligrams of zinc and you get COVID. You're playing games. You're living dangerously, as King Clive Campbell would say, you're living dangerously. So you also would like to have some D3 on hand and also vitamin C 1,000 milligrams. And you would take that regime twice a day. If you see you have early symptoms of COVID or you are diagnosed with COVID, don't take this as a game. Please don't take it as a game, because some persons, when they go get tested, they come out positive, but at that time they have no symptoms. So they say, oh, well, guess what? I'm probably asymptomatic, and that's where they go wrong. Because one thing with the Delta stream, you can be all right now and tested positive, and then tomorrow is a different story. So I would suggest you get on the products. Don't play with your lives. A lot of people have been playing with their lives. And yesterday I said, when you're out, 6 feet apart, stay away from crowds. Y'all remember when COVID started, you couldn't find bleach, you couldn't find alcohol, you couldn't find hydrogen peroxide, you couldn't find the wipes, you couldn't find nothing, you couldn't even find tissue, man. Now a higher strain is here, and y'all joking? Y'all can't be serious. A higher strain is here, and everybody's still having backyard parties and allowing people in your homes. If you don't live in mama house, and that may be your mother, don't go in mama house, please. If you have a brother and the next one is a sister, and y'all have separate homes, if y'all gotta hail each other or talk outside your homes. I don't care if it's your brother or sister, because COVID doesn't care. Your brother may have been out to work with other people or may have been partying that night, or you don't know, or somebody who we work with had COVID come in contact with him. And the thing about it, he doesn't know that he has COVID yet because he's in early stages, and he come into his sister's house. And when he come into his sister's house, his sister have kids and a husband. The whole family got COVID because you say, oh, that's my brother. Y'all see how serious this thing is? This is not a joke. It's not a joke. We have to be serious about our lives, because when you go to the hospital now, you may be number 147. So you have 147 patients before you. So by the time as they get to you, I ain't saying another word, because I'm a nurse and I can tell you. I'm a nurse and I can tell you. So take those precautionary measures, and yes, travel with your hand sanitizer And guess what? As soon as you reach home, wash your hands. Don't go inside the house and start using hand sanitizer inside the house. Soap and water is always the best solution to washing your hands. When you go in your house, take your shoes off at the door. Have a pair of slippers at the door. Do not walk in your house in the shoes that you had on all day. The clothes that you had on, take them off. Do not sit in your furniture, on your bed, or whatever. Ladies, take the bags, wipe them off with a cloth with some soap and water before you rest it down anywhere in your house. Because we rest our on the counter, on this, on that, on the bed, on the dresser. Wipe it off. Please take these precautionary measures. So we're gonna get even deeper into some stuff right now. And I see the beautiful—
Nurse Adley, we actually are going to just break down the products because we have 10 minutes to the hour. And so tonight we are actually only doing an hour. And then tomorrow night we'll do it again, give it in smaller bites so persons can take it all in. It is all live.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, Denise is live tomorrow night, but we are actually having a conversation prior to, as Dr. Denise might, as well as she might not get to jump on tomorrow night. So we're going to either have this conversation very similar to what we're having now, or even a little bit more in depth, and then she will join us. But with that being said, guys, we are just going to break down what the different products are. Like she said, you heard Nurse Donnelly talk about the Balage. You heard Dr. Franco speak to the efficacy of Balage. Well, we're also going to show just a short video about the Cronui. And what the Cronui is something that we say that if you do by chance and God's grace that you don't contract COVID or Delta strain, we normally will mix the Balage and the Cronui together. And why we've found that it's so effective is because sometimes there are these underlying conditions that we're unaware of. And it's interesting, Nurse Donnelly can speak to what happened to her children's father, finding out that he had diabetes, never knowing that he did, even though it was in his family lineage. Mama had it, brothers had it, different people in his family had it, but he never had it. Child, I ain't got no diabetes. But in contracting COVID and not wanting to take the products, he then found out that he did. But drinking the Balage, drinking the Cronui Fire, as he did, I think for 2 days, 3 times a day, hot as you can possibly take it, what they found was that he was able to come out 2 days later. He had given the notice to Donnelly saying, tell the children I won't be home. And she was like, the devil is a liar. I ain't even given that message on. So I just want to share the video for the Cronui Fire, and then we're going to have King Clive talk about the Hasaki, and then we're going to have the phenomenal Dr. Denise out of Trinidad and Tobago speak about the Inner 7. So here's the video about the Cronui Fire. And there's some great, amazing up effects, I call them, not side effects, up effects about the Cronui Fire. It also assists and aid in weight loss, which is also a degenerative disease as well. Having all of that weight on us is a problem during these COVID times. So even if you're going to just drink the Balage and the Cronui, make it happen, guys. Cover yourself, cover yourself. I don't know how many times I can say that. So here you go. Enjoy the video.
Losing weight while you sleep? Now that's a dream I could get used to. But what if I told you it's not a dream? Go ahead, pinch yourself. Because there is scientific evidence and clinical trials that prove this to be true. Thousands of people right now are losing weight and increasing their metabolism on our revolutionary product, Cronui. And they are doing this by simply taking Cronui before they sleep. Cronui Fire decreases the absorption of carbohydrates and sugars from food through thermogenesis, which contributes to the elimination of fatty tissue. During the night, the storage of fats increase due to the body not being able to deliver glucose to corresponding parts of our body at necessary speeds. That process must be balanced, decreasing the quantity of sugar in the bloodstream. This is where Cronui Fire helps the body the most. Modern life leads us to eat in a disorderly fashion during the day, provoking a rise in glucose, which leads to glycation, inflammation, and insulin resistance. Sometimes this is just an unavoidable consequence of our busy lives. Cronui Fire reduces the absorption of carbohydrates and sugars, reduces the level of sugar and insulin after each meal, eliminates fatty tissue from the cellular level, and combats the effects of cell damage. To use Canoe Fire, dissolve the Easy Tear envelope into 16 ounces of hot water. Drink before dinner as a nighttime tea, and relax as the intelligent nutrition works for you throughout the night.
So I know, Nurse Donnelly, you want to add 2 more tidbits to that Canoe Fire before we go on to the Hasaki, and just share with them what are the other up effects of the phenomenal Canoe Fire.
Okay, well, the Canoe Fire actually assists in sleep, because sleep is very now for us to have. And also it helps to boost the immune system. So sleep, guys, please sleep. And also the Canoe Fire, as the video said, is anti-glucose plus. The thing about it is, and when I say anti-glucose, it helps to bring the blood sugar down. It's also an anti-hypertensive, whereas if you're a person suffering from hypertension, it actually helps to lower your blood pressure. And the Canoe Fire is also anti-inflammatory, so it brings down inflammation in the body. And it's also anti-chemo. So if you are suffering from cancer, or your family, has person suffering from cancer, it's in your, what they call it, your genetics or whatever, taking Canoe Fire helps to keep cancer markers down. So that's why I said that Belage and that Canoe, boy, y'all better have it. But we have another fella coming up, and I know Dr. Ruthann is going to let the man himself introduce that other fella. Your mic is muted, Doc.
In the microbiome panelists and project and movement, we do have 2 men in our lives. I know everybody only hears one voice, but listen, we do have 2 men in our lives, guys. And that king that doesn't speak, but does a huge job, is named King Hasaki. So I'm going to allow the king himself of Charlie's Angels, King Clive Campbell out of Jamaica. Can you tell us about Hasaki?
Hey, good night. Thanks again, Dr. Ruthann. It is my privilege and pleasure to talk about Hasaki. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a world that nutrient deficiency is one of the main problems that we are having. Yes, we are eating, but the question is, are we being nourished? Are we being nutrified? We are eating all kind of different foods, but still we are malnourished. Can you imagine that? We are malnourished because we are eating things that are of none benefit to the body. But here comes a company, Sankey Global, and they have done years and years of research and has presented to us what might be some of the most relevant nutrients that we need. So, for example, Asaki contains a proprietary formulation called Bovia. It's a revolutionary formula that contains 596 different metabolites from cacao. What this does, it balances the intestinal flora and generate new nutrients. Now, that's part of the thing, that the body needs new nutrients, because we have 110 trillion cells that makes up the body. 10 trillion are human cells, 100 trillion are microbial cells. The microbes don't all eat the same thing. So many of them are disgruntled, unhappy, and if they had a chance in Jamaica, they would have made placards, go up to CVM TV, TVJ, and say, we want justice. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to report to you, justice has arrived. This product, Asaki, does justice to the body in that it provides for all the cells of the body. Do you think you understand the significance of providing and catering for all the cells inside of the body? It means that everybody going to bed satisfied. You know, there was a song a couple years ago that was very popular on the Jamaican market. A lot of people now get no supper tonight. A lot of people going to bed hungry, underfed, unhappy, and malnourished. But when it comes to Asaki, everybody getting supper tonight. Everybody going to be happy, like the Okanawans that draw a long bench and palaver at the end of the day, and drink tea, and they laugh and they are happy and they sing, because in a body that is properly nutrified is a body that is balanced. Because when all the cells are singing the same Sankey, then the body is in harmony. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is possibly the most powerful product you have on the planet today because of what it does. It nourishes the microbiota, the microbiome. You know that I'm in love with the microbiome. I'm tickled pink when you mention the microbiome. Sometimes people call me Clive Microbiome Campbell, because anybody that comes within a few feet of my body, I'm telling them about the microbiome, and 90% of them have never heard about their microbiome until I introduce it to them. But here it is. This product nourishes your microbiome. And believe you me, when you understand the function of the microbiome in the body, you want to make your microbiome happy and healthy because they are 90% of who you are. This product improves the absorption of protein by 20%. That is critical. These amino acids, the body need them for cell repair, renewal, rejuvenation. Your body does need it for what protein does best in the body. So when you can absorb protein by 20%, especially for people who are aging, you are getting rid of flabs, you're putting on muscle instead of keeping those fats going, and it's a beautiful experience. It also increases the oxidation of fat. This product, ladies and gentlemen, because it is attracting the keystone bacterial species that helps to burn fat and keep you fit and healthy. Is a certain species of microbiome does that, So it increase oxidation of fat. It sustain proper weight management. Same thing, the bacteria help to maintain and determine your weight. That is why it's so important to have this product Asaki. And it provides vital energy to trillions of mitochondria. Now, don't confuse the microbiome, which are the bacteria, to the mitochondria, which are the parts of your cell that generates energy. 70% of the dry weight of your body represents mitochondria. Energy is critical to the body. Here comes a product that ensures that energy distribution is paramount. I know what it means because 2 days ago, I had low energy in my house because of corrosion at the pothead where the GPS wires are attached to my house. I was not getting sufficient current coming through, and therefore the lights were flickering. If I turn on the fan, they flicker more. The fridge could not be on, and everything was out of whack in my house. That night was hard for me because I could not get the fan on to keep me cool. So low energy, I was being affected by low energy. It's one thing for in Jamaica, JPS not to be able to give you energy. It's another thing when a cell not giving you the right energy. And that's how the dangerous things are. So here comes a product like a JPS, make the reconnection again. You're getting the right amount of energy, the fan working, the fridge working, the AC working, the television working, everything working. And that is why we need this product to give a right balance of energy in the body. I won't take much more of your time, Dr. Ruthan, please.
Wow, as always. I always love to hear you talk about Hasaki. Beautiful Dr. Denise out of Trinidad. Please, 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 let me see if she got back on because she keeps on getting knocked off. Hold on one second, guys. She keeps on getting knocked off. Where are you? Dr. Joy. Oh, you're here. There we go. There you go, beautiful.
Yes. I had to come up on 3 different devices. Sorry about that. We keep getting knocked off. But folks, let me tell you something super, super nice to all. A healthy ecosystem creates a space where viruses can be present without triggering your immune responses. What that simply says, folks, feed that microbiome. Master Clive just spoke about diversification of your microbiome. So here we have our inner 7. Why inner 7 is so important in each and everyone's lives? It's because it's the total formulation over 60 plus minerals that is required to keep a healthy immunity flow. Why? Your blood cells float around in plasma And what the blood cells feeds on is minerals to displace nutrition and energy throughout the entire system. So if your lymphatic system is weakened, then all fall down, because that's what we call the tree of life. And where do your blood cells float in? The plasma, in your lymphatic flow. So why minerals is important is because each blood cell, the mitochondria, the life force in each cell feeds on minerals: magnesium, potassium, sodium, calcium, zinc, selenium, to name a few. And it improves your natural defense mechanism. Folks, your cells alter itself with whatever you put into your body, to the environment. So what you feed it, you will get the response from it. You heard Dr. Franco talk tonight about the foods that we are putting in our system. Why we need this flow of life within our system and these formulations is because we simply do not have the nutritional evaluation that is evaluated for every day in our lives for health and wellness. Because the foods we are eating is GMO. It's made with chemicals. You know, here in Trinidad, you see it on the highway, truck fumes, diesel fumes, everything passing on that. And you're going to buy that from the market, cut it up, put it in your pot, and you only, getting dead food because of the chemicals in it. So we need these minerals in our body to help revitalize. Master Clive talked about cell harmony. When we have these minerals, for instance, I'll give you a typical example. You get a pharmaceutical prescribed pill to take, right? Doctors say, okay, your iron is low and so forth and so forth. So he give you something to take. Do you know when you read the label on it, it has something called MSM in it? You know what is MSM? MSM is a certain amount of minerals, which is magnesium, calcium, zinc, potassium, copper, to name a few, that will help when you take that prescribed med into your bloodstream, that the minerals will be in there so it can be absorbed into your body. You notice after a few days, when it wears off, you feel crash and cranky once more, you need another fix. Well, that's what happens because the cells are so depleted of nutrition, minerals at microcirculation level, that is what happens in the body. So here's what. We need our magnesium because it's the fourth abundant mineral in our body. 66% is found in your bones, 33% in your skeletal and cardiac muscles. All right. It helps to act against as an anti-stress agent when you take magnesium first thing in the morning. And why? There is a little label on the box says, mix it first thing in the morning. But we have, according to our health coach, according to your symptoms, according to what you're going through, they advise as to how you take it within your system because your system is not healthy. Let's face it, folks, it's not healthy. So here's what. When you get up in the morning, there are good enzymes in your mouth. Many people like to brush their teeth before they do anything. Listen, folks, once you put that mineral in there, it absorbs, it chelates straight into that bloodstream, nanoparticles, and hits those cells to start energetic life for the day. Calcium helps to reduce the body's acidity. All right. When your body becomes acidic, what happens? It draws the calcium when the bloodstream, that is, I'm correcting, it draws from your fingernails, your hair, your bones to alkaline that blood because that's your flow of life. Dr. Franco spoke about it. Your blood is the life force, the flow in your body, and it needs to be healthy. So if that bloodstream or plasma is dirty, what do you expect? In your microbiome, in that colon, in that gut health is where most of your liquid flow happens. The absorbent, the digestion, everything takes place and absorbs back into from the intestines into the lymphatic flow. So if it's toxic, stagnated, stinky, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be absorbing back toxic, stagnated, stinky, and that's not feeding your body. So we have to have it always clean. All right. It also, selenium helps vitamin C regeneration, more activation of the vitamin C in your blood. So it protects microcirculation. Many of us are not getting oxygenation at that microcirculation level, meaning the smaller capillaries in the body. So you might be getting flow through the arteries and veins and main blood vessels. But when it comes down to the toes, to the fingers, you have a numbness, you know, all these kinds of things taking place. And then you see little nice colored veins popping up in your legs, varices of veins, which means your valves are locking off, it's shutting down, it's weakening. So the minerals are low. Potassium helps to regulate heart muscles and promote smooth transmission of stimulus along nerve endings. Those of you who have suffered injury, osteochondrosis, you know, slip disc and all of that spinal issues. Here's where you have your whole total servings to help the body connect back once more. The electrical flow, as Master Clive said. Copper regulates blood cholesterol. Zinc, all right, very important for prostate health. Helps in promotion, you know, of restfulness as well in the body and in the blood as well. So folks, we have the total formulation here in our hands. Why go rewrite the script? Why go rewrite the formulations for your body? This is what we have, the power in our hands. And why, you know, I know many of you, you know, expressed to me, okay, we pushing a product or we pushing. Folks, let me tell you something. As a medical practitioner, as a specialist, that is, I would tell you, practicing in the field of blood analyzing and looking at blood samples every day, looking at pathogens in your blood system. Let me tell you something. No way, if you don't have these formulations in your body, you can survive even the common flu. And you know why I'm saying this? Because the foods that we are eating, and I'm sure you guys on this call is suffering from some form of the other. It may be atrophic gastritis, acidic stomach. It might be a circulation issue. It might be a neurological issue. It might be even a psychological issue, a physiological issue. Yes, I'm giving you some big words tonight because you guys just do all your due diligence. So what I'm saying with passion and conviction, I am saying that you need to get to revitalize and diversify your microbiome because these strains that are coming out, folks, let me tell you something. It is the beginning of these strains and variants in the next 3 to 5 up to about 10 or more years into the future. What we have in our hands is the future medicine in today's world, into now. Today, I mean, I'm sorry, Dr. Rutan, but I'm going to teach 2 minutes again. Today, I had a 5-hour-long conversation with some members who were talking about vaccinated, not vaccinated, and it all boiled down to, you know what? I know that after this conversation, my heart is at rest because I can rest into something that is going to give my T cells, my B cells, which is your neutrophils, your eosinophils, your macrophages, all of these cells that help fight bacteria. It is no longer a war between, okay, I'll go in and boil some olive leaves and I'll go in and boil some noni juice and I'll go in and drop some in some bottle for it to ferment. Folks, let me tell you something, that ain't even touching it. You know what you're doing to the bacteria in your body? You're just giving it more food to fuel degeneration in your system. So when the divine has put something in our hands, because I am into the science, I am into nanotechnology, pharmacogenetics, and all of these kinetics, I am in all of those. And I am telling you, your body needs this. It cannot just drop some B complexes in it, drop some vitamin C in it. That will help, yes, but it is not enough to fuel you through a chronic or autoimmune disease. So I am pleading with you guys tonight. I've been getting calls. I've been seeing they're dying left, right, and center. And we have something in our hands that's going to help change. There is a shift in the mindset that must be changed. And we have that change. That is why this panel and Dr. Franco and all the others are on tonight so that we can share this wonderful opportunity with you. All we care about is saving lives. That's the oath at least I took when I entered this field for the last 25 plus years. Thank you so much. I love you, team. Back over to you, Dr. Ruthan. Yes.
Dr. Denise, before Dr.
Yes.
Ruthan comes on, I know we're trying to keep it to an hour because some persons were complaining about the calls being but right now, you and I, we're passionate because I'm a nurse and you're a doctor, and it's about saving lives. Tonight is about saving lives. Something Dr. Franco said and something that you said, and I spoke a little bit on it last night about all of these comorbidities and also all about these different diseases that persons have, and they don't even know that they have. And the thing about it is when they have COVID brings it out. Sometimes persons who had a back injury and thought that back injury was completely gone in COVID, it says, hey, you thought I was gone, I'm here. I'm here and I'm up front and I'm present. But the thing about it is, Denise, I have been in nursing for 24 plus years. I've worked in maternity, medical, surgical, pediatrics, I've worked in all of these areas of the hospital. You understand? I didn't work in no little dinky clinic. I worked in the major hospital here in the Bahamas. And I'm telling you, since I have been turning persons who have, especially diabetes and hypertension onto these products, I have seen persons come off of medication. I'm sorry, no, hold on. Let me do it, Dr. Rudan. Let me turn that around. They had diagnosed me as being hypertensive with hypertension. And the thing about it is, as a nurse, that was so hard for me because you know what? I know most persons who are hypertensive, they end up being diabetic, then they have to be going to kidney failure, all that foolishness. You understand? I said, Lord, how did I get here? Because when we give persons medications have side effects. Medications have side effects. And so here it is, persons who are now on medications giving them side effects, and then COVID. They have to worry about COVID? Seriously? So I have noticed that persons I have actually presented and I've coached them along. These persons are now have either reduced the amount of medications that they're on, or their physicians, because see, we don't tell you, or stop taking your medication. We love you to take your medication here at Sankey. You know why? Because while you're on your medications, you will notice that your blood sugar is dropping. You will notice that your hypertension is dropping. You will notice that you're losing weight. You'll notice that those chronic pains that you had start to subside. So your physician is about to take you on lower doses or take you off of meds. That's why we love you here to take your medication and go to your doctor so that they can see what we have here at Sankey Global. I have never seen nothing like this in my 24 plus years of nursing, persons coming off of hypertension and diabetic meds, Dr. Ruthan. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. All I've seen is persons' dosage being increased, or they get put on a higher grade medication, or they end up having another disease because of the medication that they're on. Never have I thought we would have something that would be able to take people off of medication and reverse chronic disease. Seriously? And persons are playing? Man, Denise, I am as passionate as you are tonight. But Dr. Ruzan, I don't know what else you have to say, but you know me and Clive and Denise.
Let me just plug in 2 seconds.
Our hearts. I don't know what else they want, man.
Yeah. I just want for the audience to know this. Being an association of the UN and John Hopkins intervention into what is happening, why it is an inflammatory disease, and we know what inflammation does in a system. So we're having this conversation. Viruses is not a living organism, but it is rather a protein molecule. The RNAs, which is covered with these layers of lipids. So why it affects diabetics, bring about high blood pressure, because it is targeting the metabolic system. What runs the metabolic system is amino acids, enzymic functions, all of these things, enzymes, which is lipids, the fat lipid, which is leucine, which is glucosamine, which is all the enes, all right? And when this starts to happen, these layers of lipids now are being absorbed by the cell. So when you get this viral issue or comes into your system, where it attaches itself most, it's in the ocular part of the body, nasal, buccal mucosa. So you find a lot of inflammation, mucus is building, and why it is bringing out the comorbidities is who didn't even know they had a touch of something or a slight touch of something. It changes your genetic coding. So if your genetic coding has a little oomph of a degeneration, it is going to amplify it more. And hence the reason why it is able to hide, like we talk about cancer cells hiding deep tissue. So what the formulation does, especially the Belage, it actually breaks the blood barrier. We're saying it so simple, so we can break it down in layman terms. Nanotechnology and nanomedicine simply means that it is going to enter into the cells as a therapeutic or reach a diseased tissues, which while avoiding the healthy cells. So what is happening, it is going to get into that semi-permeable membrane, which is the blood barrier passes through that, which we call the interstitial tissues, and enter into the passage to hit straight to that damaged cells. That is why a lot of people within 1 hour getting relief who have had symptoms of the COVID or even in 90% degeneration, because the advantages is that it is getting into the absorption of the tissues, right? It is not affecting the healthy tissues in the body, but it is directed. It's a technique that reduces the damage to your healthy cells, but gets straight. And even listen to this. That is why Dr. Edia spoke about he had the formulation together with AI, because what it is doing, it's actually allowing you to understand early detection. So back to your answer, Nurse Donnelly, is that your baby's daddy was not diagnosed as a diabetic, but what the COVID did, it showed up it into the body. And guess what happens? When the COVID hit, it identified it, but the Belage, in taking it, as you were able to get it to him in the hospital, it went in to that early detection of the disease and start to correct it from there. So that is what is this medicine, this quantum medicine is all about. That is what, that's my field. So that's why I'm saying it can detect early degeneration before it hits you in the next 5, 20 or 30 years down the road. Back over to you, my dear.
Wow. So, Nurse Donnelly, I don't know if you want to just explain this one slide before we close out, and then I will close it out and just speak to how, you heard Dr. Denise a few minutes ago talk about the Protease 3CL cell and how, the Belage actually stops it from producing. But if you want to break it down for them, Nurse Donnelly.
Okay, let me break this on down. Okay. If you see here on this picture, let me just read, then I will give you the theory and then the practical. How about that? All right, antiviral activity of Belage. In case of any infection or virus, example, influenza, SARS, whatever it is, enters cells, uses the host cell machinery to produce viral protein. This allows the virus to reproduce itself, to produce viral proteins and essential viral enzymes, the Protease 3CL. All right. Now, if we were to look, and let me just read this to the bottom here in red. It inhibits the Protease 3CL, preventing the virus from itself. So let's explain this. In the diagram at the top. I hope you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? Because my computer is saying internet is unstable. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Okay, good. The top here, we have a cell. All right, let's pretend this one is not here as yet. We have this cell here. In the middle here, this is the nucleus is a little darker green. All right, this green right here. Do that. That's your hand on my neck.
Yeah, just in case they didn't no, just in case they didn't know what you were talking about. I was trying to, point the pointer there. Like, we're in class, so we have the red dot, We don't have, we need a point out.
Okay. So let's take your hand and my thing. This nucleus right here, this part right here. In here you have the mitochondria and all the good stuff, right, of the cell. And so in here, you will see that it's a dark, the green is a little dark. This means that this is a disease cell. That the virus is already in this cell. All right. And so what happens when this virus goes out? This virus bucks up with 3CL. 3CL is a protein in the blood. All right, or in the cells. And so what happens is that when the virus bucks 3CL, 3CL actually helps the virus to produce viral proteins. And so what happens, this red thing right here is a viral protein that happened when the virus came out of the cell into the plasma, into the 3CL, bucked with the protein, with the enzyme. And so what happened, it created a viral protein. So when this viral protein was created, it enables the virus to then do what? Duplicate itself. Now, let me tell you, if you've been drinking Balage, get your Balage, get your Balage.
So Dr. Donnelly. So Nurse Donnelly, so what you're trying to tell me, right, is that a virus came into me, right? And then the 3CL say, my boy, come here, boy. I got you. You know when people say, I got you? This 3CL say, I got you. Don't mind, don't worry about the people around here. I got you, because guess what? If you want more of you, I got you. That's what the 3CL said, right?
Yeah, come join hands with me. Let's join forces and let's
say, man, listen, I got you. I got you. I could take care of you. That's what it said.
Yeah, okay. And let's make.
And so when it did that, it make a next one, and then it make a next one, then it make a next one, and then I get sicker and sicker, and I wondering why. Correct?
Listen to me. The 3CL and the virus. They're like, when a man and a woman are so compatible and they make a nation a turn, let me tell you something. That's what happens.
They're like, my boy them, come.
Yep.
That's what happens.
I just want to break it down for people, for them to really understand what we're talking about. Because, sometimes when you say certain things, it just go over people's heads. So I just want to make sure everybody truly understands what we're talking about. So now explain the Balage.
So the Balage is like, since you said it like that, and I break it down, the Balage is like weight control. All right. So when you take the Balage, the Balage inhibits the virus from actually joining up with the 3CL. Oh, y'all ain't catch that? The virus is not allowed to come in contact with the 3CL. And
so the Balage is saying, boop, dead. Dead coronavirus. Like that?
Okay. Yeah. And so what happens, there's no babies forming. So no viral protein forming. So guess what? It's unable to make more babies and duplicate itself. So viral protein is inhibited. Viral cells die. Okay. Can I get the one slide after that? One slide right after that.
Go ahead.
So if we have here, y'all know I love this. I love this presentation. That's how come I know the slides. I do this all the time. So thank you. And the in vitro testing. All right. This with people, not with rats, not with cats, not with mouse, not with none of them things. with humans, this test was done. All right. So Sankey tested Balaj against several viruses. The enzyme, the 3CL Pro, all right, is necessary for the production of functional proteins by the virus. Proteins needed for replication were not produced by the white cells. Balaj in the system will prevent the production of viral cell functional proteins. Balaj inhibits viral cells from using 3CL Pro.
Okay, pause. So you telling me my gangsters, my white cells that has come out in full force when they get ready, when something comes in my body, my white cells say, arch, papers, registration. Go back, step back. So the Balaj join forces with my white boys and say, no, boy, my dread, you can't come this way. You're not allowed in. Not at all.
Hey, don't touch that. Don't touch that. Ain't no babies making wrong here.
Ain't no roach on this bread. Step back.
That's right.
Step back.
Ain't no babies making up in here.
Yes. Okay. Just making sure.
Okay. Right. So Balaj inhibits virus reproduction in the cells. So when you have on this side, this is somebody who was not taking the Balaj. All right. So what happened here was the viral protein production, duplication of viral cells. So they wasn't taking Balaj. So the virus was able to just replicate. All right. But here you had somebody who was taking the Balaj. And so the Balaj caused these little black cells. You really don't supposed to see it, but we just put it there because it's so microscopic you cannot see the 3CL Pro, but we made it visible for you on the diagrams. And so what happens is the Balaj engulfs these stuff and coats around them. So when the virus was to try, come on here to meet up with this, man, all lone rubbers. That means, hey, you ain't no baby making up in here.
Ain't nothing happening this way.
Ain't nothing happening this way. So you can't make no more babies. So guess what? It may have allowed you in the beginning before you took the Balaj to make little one or two. But guess what? After Balaj gets in the system, brother, look here, rubbers on, no babies making. So all your cells, all your other cells stay unaffected from the virus. And so I don't know how much plainer you want me to put that.
No, that's as clear as you can make it. And I need people to see that number to the bottom. That says 83.9%. You know how we learn in school to round up, right? So that's 84%. Okay, so that's 16% away from 100. That's a big amount to know that it inhibits viruses and these cells from mass producing themselves. So guys, you know, y'all could say what y'all want. Y'all could call it, oh, we want money. Okay, we want money. Fine. Okay, we want money. You want your life? How about that? Come on, man. Let's get serious. Stop. Because I hate when people say that. I hate it. It's very annoying. You know, we've been in this company now for going on 2 years. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I am on this call. And I have dedicated myself to being on this call. I have a lot of other things that I can be doing, but the Joy has a lot of things that she can be doing. The persons on this call, I don't benefit from half of the persons that are on this call. But let me tell you what my divine purpose is. My divine purpose is to know that I have opened my mouth. Because knowledge is something that is supposed to be shared. Knowledge does not belong to any one of us. And God gave me the knowledge, and he gave me the wisdom, and he gave me the words to actually speak and to share. Love is something that you're giving away. What I am doing tonight has good money. It is my love for God's people. And love is something that I want to give away and that I will continue to be going away, because guess what? If I can help any one of y'all on the line, if I can help one person along the way, then I know my living has not been in vain. I don't know about you, Dr. Ruth Ann, but guess what? That's something my great-grandmother used to say, my grandmother and my mother. If I can help one person, along the way, then my living shall not be in vain. And that's my motto. And that's what I'm standing by. That's why I'm here on. Back to you, though.
So we have a question in the group. It says, can pregnant mothers take our products?
Why, of course.
Take the Belage especially.
Yes, the Belage, yes.
Yes, that's right.
Even babies can take our products. You have a child, your whole household, from like King Clive would say, from baby to granny, literally can take our products. We have some persons even in the Bahamas that are over 80 and 90 years old that are taking the products. Some persons down in Anguilla, their mother is taking the products, taking the Belage and the Hasaki. You know, the products work from literally baby to granny. You know, we've had persons that give the babies the dropper where they were birthed C-section, so they were birthed with severe sinus. Yeah, babies birthed with sinus and asthma. And so they gave the Belage in a dropper, and literally just erroneous amounts of mucus started coming out. I know for me, guys, I'm clinically diagnosed with something called neuromyelitis optica. So I've not been able to walk since 2015. And all I can say is these products have strengthened my core, because in 2017, I fell into a coma. When I came out of that coma, I had no core strength. You see me sitting up here, Nurse Donnelly could attest to what I'm saying. Like, you know, when someone knows you and has seen you, but how it was to where you're at is a whole different ball game. You understand? Like literally, when I sat in my wheelchair, guys, I couldn't sit up. I used to have to sit like this, forward. I had no core strength to say I could hold both my arms up like this in the air and just sit. Child, I'd fall over. You know, I have core strength now. I have core strength. My legs, my thighs above my knee had become totally atrophied muscle, totally atrophied, had fallen completely, and it looked like a chicken bone, thigh high and then bone to the bottom. It was awesome. I hated it. Drinking that Hasaki, amazing. I was incontinent, could not go to the bathroom. My bladder used to fill up to 400 ml, sorry. And I used to have to get capped. Man, y'all ain't getting this way. Y'all don't understand the seriousness of this. Y'all can take it as y'all wish, but there's some seriousness right here. You know, for Donnelly's son to get up and walk. Wait, anyway, y'all.
Dr. Mufan, they don't even know what it was for me to actually be able to look in both of your eyes. Only one of your eyes I could have looked in, because one of your eyes was closed down. You couldn't even open it. The lid couldn't even open. My God. My God.
My hands, you see me sitting here like this, hands open. Hands used to be like this. Used to be hard shut to the point where you have to pry fingers open. You could ask Donnelly. They used to massage my hand with olive oil all the time. Not until I started taking these products, my fingers, my hands started to open up. Anyway, I gotta go drink my hot Asaki, guys. So I guess it's called time. My hot Asaki has come with a little bit of nutmeg. So this gonna shut it down. This is delicious, man. But with that being said, guys, I want to share with you. Yes. Yeah. See, Antoinette. Yeah, my grandbaby drinks the Belage and the Canoe together. And she drinks it as a drink. We need to start giving our kids this instead of Capri Sun that's supposedly 100%. You know what? I have a question for everybody on here. We have 144 people on this call. Y'all ever wonder how Capri Sun could be 100% juice, but it's sitting on a shelf in a box?
Look at them in the chat.
Wow. Magnesium stearate.
Like hello.
Longer.
You know, like I mean, I don't know if y'all is wondering about this, and we just give this. This is what we're feeding to our children, and we don't think twice. We don't think twice. And you know what we thought? Remember when it was just juice? Then it went a little bit more expensive because now it's 100% juice, but we still buy it. But if you leave an orange sitting on a counter, Nurse Donnelly and Dr. Denise, when you leave an orange cut open on a counter, what has happened to it after a couple of days?
That's oxidized.
Yet we give our children 100% juice and the thing don't go off. And it's sitting in a box, in a warehouse, in a trailer. We don't know where. Anyway, Okay, roll it back.
Then
Yes, guys, I'm a mother of 6, so you can imagine how passionate I am about this, okay? A mother of 6, okay? Yes.
Well, child, if it cost my son, who didn't stand up or walk for 10 whole years, to actually hold on to a walker and stand up for the first time in 10 years and actually make 4 steps before he said he can't do it anymore. Let me tell you something, 10 whole years, you can imagine 10 whole years being confined, can't move. And as a child, and to be able to stand on your own, at least be able to stand holding a walker. And guess what, guys? This is the beginning of COVID when this happened. So his doctors have him on lock. He can't go nowhere. He can't do physiotherapy. And the thing about it is, you can't treat what you don't know, because guess what? My child has not been diagnosed, and he's now 13, and this happened from he was 3, and they can't find no diagnosis for him. So guess what? They can't treat what they don't know. And so because these things are all natural, no side effects, I was able to give it to him. And guess what? Nothing bad happened. The only thing bad happened now is that his speech is not as slurred as it used to be, and his mouth is hard as ever.
Yeah, but like Donnelly, you have to share with the community how he used to drool and how his eyes would roll up in his head. His head would lay back like this, like so, couldn't hold his head up. And within 2 weeks, the boy sitting up, no need to be strapped down in his wheelchair, drool not coming out of his mouth. Now, you have to understand, as a child, you in school, you trying to do your work, drool coming out of your mouth, you know you get upset, right? Drool all over your schoolwork. Every time you talk, drool on your paper.
On your clothes.
You and can't focus because why? Your eyes keep rolling up in your head. Okay.
And now he's playing video games with the controller, holding the controller and playing video games, moving from bed to chair on his own. Man, okay, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know.
So tomorrow, you know what we can do? Tomorrow evening, Dr. Denise, I know you might be, and as well as you might not be, but we can continue this conversation. We can show you all some videos.
Yes.
That's right.
Of different things that have happened, because I can show you all videos of me. I was able to stand because of these products with my walker. I've been able to stand. My physical therapist normally have to lift me with a gait belt.
Wow.
Well, ain't no way.
You know, Dr. Rutan, what was really happening with us here, and that's why we have this passion, because I mean, Ms. Donnelly, we have been in the field, we've seen it happen, live experiences. I mean, I cried my eyes out when I first saw you, Dr. Rusan, and how you were when I started in 2020 with this business. And Nurse Donnelly, when I saw your son and I was looking at his little leg and your feet, and I feel that. I said, you know what? The passion that we have experienced in our family lives and members by extension, friends, that's why we are this way, because you can't tell a mother who is pregnant, she ain't pregnant. No way you can tell a woman that. So when we have experienced what we have experienced, you think we could stay dumb to this? We need to share this.
No.
I don't care. I don't really care whether you want to hear or not. You're going to share it because it's my God-given right to let you know, because I have seen death in the face every day on my night shift, and not just 1, 5, 6, 10. And I have to sit with them to record. Can you believe this, Nurse Donnelly? To record the time that the last breath leave your life. So
I remember even one lady holding on to my hand and saying, "Nurse, I have 2 girls home. Please don't let me die." You know, people don't know.
There was one guy did that to me, Nurse Donnelly. One, he held on to my hand. Matron had to come and prise off his fingers off my hand. He died begging me, "I don't want to go. I want to live."
Y'all don't know.
Listen, these things, these are scary moments to be at. So when we have something, it's like, give me that one moment in time to let you know what the power you have. Is not us, you know. We, as Nurse Donnelly say, I am giving my time every day, most 5-6 hours of the day, to share this message without a cent. You know why? because I know what life is. People say, well, we come in the earth one day to die. Listen, the day that breath is going, see how much you're begging to live. See how much they're begging to live.
Well, you know what? Something Dr. Nice, what Dr. Adia said the other day. He said that, his main goal in creating these products is to really allow the aged people, just like the centenarians, to be able to get to 100. Like he said, Warren Buffett. He said Warren Buffett is one of the centenarians that have basically been able to get to his age where he could sit and have a conversation and remember the first time when his firstborn was birthed. Yes. I could tell you about his first, second, and third wife. And be able to utilize the bathroom by yourself with dignity.
Mm-hmm.
He said that these are the reasons why he works so hard to continue to develop and make these products better and better and better. Y'all ain't understanding what we have. I remember it was last year, and a lady called me, and literally she was hollering on the phone, screaming, "Mom, I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much." I'm so much pain. I'm in so much pain. I'm like, how can I help? She's like, someone told me to call you. So I was like, okay. And then she was hollering to the point my daughter came inside the room. She said, "Mommy, you okay?" I said, "No, it's the lady on the phone." Because normally my phone is on speaker. I didn't have no headset at the time. I said, "No, it's the lady on the phone." She said, "Everything okay?" I said, "No, she's in pain." Guys, I told her, I said, "Well, my daughter could bring you a Balage and a Canoe and in a 7. So she's like, how am I going to make it? Because she's in so much pain. So I said, "You know what? I'll send my daughter with it hot already in a cup." She says, "You'll do that?" I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Wow.
I ain't charged this woman. I don't know this woman. I don't know who she was. I sent my daughter to a house all the way out behind God back. Don't know where she was going. Okay. But I sent her there because this woman needed help. So y'all need to understand why we're here tonight. To help. Okay. I sent that to her. She drank it. My daughter went there and she ministered to her through song. So she sang with her for at least 30-40 minutes. My daughter sings beautifully like a bird. She sang and she sang and she sang. And so the woman, she said, when she came, she said, "Mommy, by the time I left, she had calmed down," because my daughter said when she pulled up to the lady's house, she was hollering. You could hear her from outside, screaming in pain. She had cancer of the anal, like the colon. So basically, she could hardly sit down.
Wow, that is
painful, bad. And she had not slept. She said she had not slept in months. Because she could not rest, could not get rest. You all ain't hearing me, man. Rest.
Remember when COVID first started? When I called you and I said, I just saved a man's life in the food store. He passed out. Nobody wanted to touch him.
I remember. Everybody was scared.
When he sat up, I said, "Y'all give me a bottle of water." I got a 16-ounce bottle of water. I ran to my car and I got my Balage. I put it in there and I drink it. And a couple of minutes, the man was able to stand up. You're joking. That's all I can say. You're joking.
Listen to me. That lady, that night she slept. So I called her the next morning around 10 a.m. I got scared because now the woman ain't wake up. Can't get no answer. So around 2 o'clock, she called me. She said, "Miss Lightburn," she says, "whatever was in that," she said, "I finally got to sleep and rest." Amen. She says, "I have not slept in months." Now, mind you, I wish I had met the lady ahead of time because she passed away that following week. That hurt me. And, her sister looked through the phone and she said, "My sister mentioned to me about someone who came and helped me and that your daughter sang to her. I want to say thank you to you. Thank you for giving my sister a peace of mind before she died." Y'all hearing me?
At least she didn't have to die in pain.
No.
At least she didn't have to die in pain. Yep. She didn't have to die in pain.
Stories we could tell, but Lord, we there every night. Stories we can tell. Life stories, life. This
Yeah,
is
and I'm sharing this because I need people to understand why we doing this, boy.
If you know
Y'all think this a
somebody
game?
who
This ain't no
is
game, boy.
suffering, if you know somebody who is suffering from any illness, it could be your brother, your sister, your mother, your friend, your neighbor. If you know they're suffering, how could you keep this to yourself? How would you feel? You know they get their condition got worse and they're suffering. And you may have been able to make a change. You may have been able to make some sort of difference in their life. How would you be able to sleep knowing that you may have been able to make a difference in at least one person's life? We say at church, everyone bring one. Everyone bring one. That's all we're asking. Let's help some people, man. When last, some of us need to look in the mirror and say, when last have I genuinely
help someone,
put away self and help someone?
Yes, I totally agree with this panel tonight.
You guys, I have to get back to the person that invited you and let them know that you need Balaj in your house. Without a shadow of a doubt, that is what is needed.
I saw somebody say they just accidentally stumbled on this. So
yeah, because hold on, listen to this on the Facebook Live that I did.
Yes,
because I decided, like, what did I tell you, Donnelly? I said, guess what? This is my business. This is officially my business. I take in Sankey by storm.
Yeah,
so I started doing my Facebook Lives. I started doing my lives again, and I just started going out there and saying, guess what? Liquid immunity, you need it. Get on these calls with us, man. Get serious. Guys,
I'm tired of seeing people just, I'm tired of getting a text. I'm tired of being in WhatsApp group. I'm tired of people calling me, oh, so-and-so just gone with COVID. So-and-so just gone with COVID. Or the whole family is affected by COVID. Or so-and-so just dropped down by a heart attack. Or so-and-so went into a diabetic coma. Or so-and-so have, come on, what are we doing as a people? I just want to know. What are we doing, guys?
Is Charlie still on? I'm not hearing it.
Charlie, you out there?
I'm here, but I'm just blown away by the reality of what you're talking about. That we are living in a world of hurting people. And look at what God has done. He has given to us something that the world is waiting for. Are we ready to go deliver it to the world? I hope not to offend anybody on this call tonight, but I was speaking to a friend recently, and she told me about this couple that came from the United States to Jamaica to get married. They got married, then they went on a honeymoon. They contracted the virus while they were on their honeymoon. A few days later, to a week,
Mercy, Lord.
the husband died. And then a few days after the husband died, the wife died. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what drama and trauma and dilemma that brings to a family? Sometimes we are too quiet. Bob Marley says, I want to disturb my neighbor. Don't feel bad to approach people and just talk to them, because you never know whose life you may save. You do not know who need to hear what you have. The very person you're speaking to might be fighting a chronic disease. It might be cancer, it might be diabetes, it might be arthritis. They might know a family member that has Alzheimer's and so on. What if? Because we are told that evil prevails when good men and women do nothing. In this Sankey family, let it be said that we did something. We tried. Whether or not they accept it, it is up to them. but we want to talk to them every nook and cranny from baby to granny. If men are prepared to travel 250,000 miles to go to the moon, the least we can do is walk across the street or go down the lane or go down the road and tell somebody who would need to hear this product. Our community for Sankey. Claim your community for Sankey. And if each of us claim our individual communities, then we are going to touch this planet, ladies and gentlemen. But I feel very grateful. I feel responsible that God has given to us what we have. The rest of the world doesn't have it. And if Rihanna can say to people, come under my umbrella, we can say to people, if you are not covered, if you are vulnerable, we have a Sankey umbrella called Belage. You need to come under our umbrella so you can be covered, so that you can have the assurance that we are having here in Sankey Global. You can have it too. So I'm really moved by the stories the ladies are talking about. But what I'm more moved by is that we are not without a response. God has given us a most appropriate response. Let us go with it and touch people's lives, lady.
That's right.
Sure.
Leaving a
Well,
legacy behind.
Exactly. Exactly. And so with that being said, guys, I'm going to close out on how you can get the products. So you can get back to the person that brought you this call and you can let them know, guess what? I am ready. You know, I'm ready to get some products. I'm ready to get a box of Belage. I'm ready to get a Crenouille in my hand. I need a Crenouille for my family. Right now, we actually have a special going on. You get 5 products, you get 3 Belage for free. Yeah, you heard me. Buy 5, get 3 Belage for free. So that could cover your whole family. Okay. So get back to the person that brought you this call, if you're that individual, or you could be the individual who says, I like to save money. So I'm going to be a Prime customer. It costs $49 for the year. That's like $4 a month. Can't beat that. And with that Prime membership, you get 25% off the products, as well as free shipping over $180 invoices, as well as once you have $180 or more, you will also get free shipping and 3 free Shinkas, which is a 4-day supply of the Belage and Crenouille. So 4 times 3 is 12-day supply of Belage and Crenouille if you want to be a Prime customer. Or you see value. You just see value in what we're talking about. And you're like, listen, I want to be sanctified and I want to be doing whatever y'all doing. I want to be a part of it. And if that's you, you want to be a business partner. You want to be a success partner with us. And if that is you, you will join with one of these packages that you see on the screen, anywhere from the starter pack all the way to the pro pack. We've had families who purchase the pro pack together. You know, there comes 4 Belage, 4 Crenouille, 4 in a 7, 4 Hasaki vanilla, 4 Hasaki chocolate, and 2 10Ds, which is a 10-day supply of all of the products put together. And you can do that, share it with your family, and come in that way. It doesn't matter where you come in, just get in where you fit in. So I just wanted to share this information so that in case you went back to the person, they were like, well, I don't know, and I'm not sure. And this is the information for you. We are all over the globe. We can ship to anywhere in the world, but we do have fulfillment centers in Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas, and 3 to 5 day shipping in the United States. We are also in Mexico, I think Peru and Colombia, Aruba, Barbados, St. Kitts, St. Martin's, Anguilla. We don't have fulfillment centers in those smaller islands, but we are there. So get back to the person that brought you this
Also
call.
in Canada.
Oh, yes, Canada. Sorry, Mava. My apologies, Mava. Mava, don't hit me. Don't hit me. Sorry, Mava. We're also in Canada, guys, okay? So as I said, get back to the person that brought you this call. They will be able to guide you. We're in the process of opening up England. So that'll be very, 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 very soon. So just want you to know, get back to the person that brought you this call. And as we always close out here at Sankey Global and at the Microbiome Project with prayer. So King Clive, can you take us out in prayer?
Let us pray. Father, we thank you that in the midst of chaos, you have given us hope. You have brought us into the kingdom for such a time as this. In a time of chronic disease killing man, here comes a pandemic, but you have not left us without an appropriate response. We pray, God, that even as we have learned about these products, this powerful system to reverse, recover, and restore, that we might help even one person to sleep better, to live better, to smile again, to live without pain, to live without discomfort, and to be able to enjoy a better quality of life. Lord, cause us to sleep well. For persons who mourn, who have loved ones who have passed, even on this call, we pray that you comfort their troubled souls. Give them your strength, your peace, and your grace at this time, and bear them up with such heavy load on their souls. But God, we thank you and we look to you. Bless us, Lord. Watch between us, we pray. Have your own sweet way. We ask these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen. Good night, all.
Good night, amen and amen. As we always say here, get back to the person that brought you this call, please, 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 please. Remember to give them a call and let them know you either enjoyed the call and you'll be back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Our link is not liquid immunity. This was a special link created for last night and tonight. And so tomorrow night's link is whatmakesmehuman.com. That's what makes me human. I don't know if someone could drop that in the chat for me. Whatmakesmehuman.com is the link for tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, same time. So please, please, please get back to the person that brought you this call and let them know this was the jam. You enjoyed it. And this is what we do. We provide information. So for all those that want to say thank you, I'm going to allow everybody to unmute their lines and you can have a field day and just say thank you if you wish.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night to everybody. Good night, good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Amazing call, guys.
Good night.
Close my thing, please.
Good night.
Close my mic.
Good night. Good day. Enjoy the
Great
call.
program. Beautiful
Awesome.
call. Awesome. Thank you.
Good night. Awesome.
Good night, all. Awesome.
And remember, guys, all we ask is tomorrow, bring one. That's all we say, bring one.
Thank
Bring
you.
one person. Good night, good night, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
And remember, tomorrow's call is whatmakesmehuman.com. Whatmakesmehuman.com. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for getting on. And like I always say here at the Microbiome Project and Movement, service to humanity, guys, is service to God. Good night, my friends.